In this particular retail case, again, it's a composite story, but in all cases, a, a special distributor went out and sold some of their line to some sort of retail entity where it was just a small percent of their business. So, if it's 2, 3, 4% of what the retailer sells, that's going to structurally create small picks and small orders for me. And should I be doing that? And again, with line item profit analytics math, you go look at the sea of minnows that you're doing business with, and you may find that there are a lot of them where this is a structural problem. And I'm not saying that we should categorically ever never sell some of these guys, but generally doesn't work. And I'll give you some examples. An art supply distributor will do very well selling art supplies to a art supply retailer. That's what they do. So you've got everything in the store that they want to buy and more. Just like a hardware wholesaler will sell to a hardware store, but when it comes to washers and bits and pieces, they struggle. So Hillman Group came in to provide a solution there. It isn't that a hardware wholesaler couldn't have created a spin-out business to do what Hillman Group did, but they just didn't see it. They were so focused on paints and ladder and so forth. When I took over a locksmith supply distributor back in the early 80s, I found that we had about 200 hardware stores who were buying about 100 key blanks and another 50 miscellaneous locks and so forth from us, which they could buy from their hardware wholesale distributor. The reason they were buying from us is some guy went in and sort of pioneered this new account opening opportunity by cutting the price. So, to bribe a retailer, say, don't buy this stuff from your full service distributor solution because we're going to undercut their prices and so forth and create small orders for both of us and so forth. It was a non-starter. We had no business being in that, so we basically closed these accounts out and in a sense forced them to go back and buy this stuff, probably at higher markups and on a bundled basis with all the other items they were buying from their hardware wholesale guys. Had a client who was in the wine lifestyle accessory business, and they were through an independent rep. They had picked up a huge in total sales and margin dollars, a huge volume contract, but it was hundreds of little gift shops buying hundreds of little small items. And so this was just not a good fit. And they actually exited that business. However, with line item profit analytics, they were able to determine that of all these gift shops, there were a few who had an inordinate amount of wine accessory purchases. So let's just say it was 10% of the shops that were doing 50% of the spend. And for them, it was not a minor category. They seemed to, for some reason, really have beefed up that section of their particular store. And you'll find it. Maybe they're right next to a wine and spirits place. I don't know. But so that's why you can't necessarily say 100%, don't sell. There might be a few exceptions, but you have to have the math to know which ones make sense and then see the reason behind it. Now, who should sell these retail generalists? Well, in theory, somebody could identify a creature in the marketplace and create a one-stop shop customer-centric solution. By example, back in 1974 in San Diego, a company called Maintenance Warehouse started up. And they said, when you look at a janitor, somebody who's taking care of a multi-tenant apartment building, kind of place, they run around doing a little maintenance. They do a little painting, they do a little plumbing fixture, they do a little light electrical stuff. I mean, they're not an electrician, and nobody's around inspecting it to make sure it's to code, but sure it's to code kind of thing. So they do a little bit of everything. So instead of having this guy have to go to an electrical distributor, a plumbing guy, heating air conditioning guy, a paint store, and having 50 different suppliers, what if we provided one-stop shopping with a catalog saying it's all about you and the kind of creature you are and everything in here serves you? And they did that, and since it was customer-centric and they, took care of the customer in a better fashion, they grew like a weed and massively profitable, financed it all internally until they sold out to Home Depot for a huge price back in 1997. And even today in Home Depot Supply, with all their debt and all their problems, I suspect that Maintenance Warehouse is a bit of a cash flow star in the bag of stuff that they have. So that's an example of somebody who decides to go customer centric instead of 100-year-old product centric, volume thinking, and they make a killing. So we should all become more customer centric. Um, if you had an electronic commerce website where people could come in and help themselves, enter the orders directly into your computer, so you're bypassing outside sales, inside sales people, use credit card or cash so you can save some on trade credit for small orders, and you unbundle freight, could you sell some of these sort of minor sideline kind of customers? And most probably yes. But again, you need line item profit analytics to know exactly where the boundary decisions are, because it's not a categorical all or nothing. Secondly, if you have a product that is freight sensitive, so the freight really goes up, or it's time sensitive, in other words, we're on California and you're on the East Coast and it's going to take 7 days, but you really need it like tomorrow, then that's going to limit how far I can reach. Even though people from too far away will find me and give me an order, it's maybe, which creates a problem. Also, you'll notice that there is absolutely no shortage of virtual retail guys who popped up and said, we're all about, something, and give us the order, and then they have found a distributor like you who's doing their fulfillment, who's probably losing money, but there they go. Or people will do this and have fulfillment by Amazon, and then Amazon tracks what items are moving well enough and look at the math of it, decide what they want to cream off themselves. So they'll start to put in those items and just sell directly to you. So Amazon's ultimate goal is to say, we're going to be the world's most efficient distribution capability with universal one-stop of anything that's consumer or even commercial as far as fast-moving items. On long tail items, goofy little dust collectors, we'll have those too, but we're not going to invest our money in it. That will charge a fee to manufacturer distributors to receive it, stock it, pick it, sell it, etc. So we can still make money. And then because lots of customers become prime, they don't have to worry about freight. So that's you're going to run into limitations in the whole retail world because of this whole online dynamic that's currently going on. So that's another case story on why you shouldn't go after a small part of somebody's business that's going to create nothing but structurally small orders. Thank you.